Hello and welcome to Baking with Miss Meow. Today is day 1, part 2 of the 30-day baking challenge. Today we're going to be making the Copycat Starbucks classic coffee cake. I'm really excited because I love the coffee cake at Starbucks, so I'm hoping that the results are somewhat close. So stay tuned and find out. For the ingredients of the streusel, we have flour, brown sugar, salt, cinnamon, and unsalted butter. So now we're going to mix together all the dry ingredients. We need a cup of flour. Chloe's helping us out here. Have a cup of brown sugar, and make sure it's packed and really press it down. A pinch of salt. I always do it over the sink, so when it's a pinch, not measured. So a pinch of salt. Thank you, Chloe. A teaspoon of cinnamon. And then you're gonna use the pastry knife cutter, masher thing to mix in the butter. But right now, first I'm going to stir all the dry together so you can see it's getting all mixed up in there. So you basically want there to be a crummy consistency with the butter. So you got to make sure that the butter is fairly soft. Not directly. It's a little more difficult when it's directly out of the fridge because it's so cold. Unless you're using a stand mixer. Oops. So you just kind of push it in there and kind of go around and make sure it doesn't get too mixed together because then it'll turn into a dough. And you want the crumbs, not a dough, for this. So kind of just keep going. Now I'm going to be making the cinnamon layer. You have flour, sugar, and cinnamon. So it needs 1 tablespoon of flour. We have, this is my lovely assistant, Jackson, and YY in the background. And Chloe and Olivia, who's standing in front of Chloe. And there she is, yelling, being the director. Anywho, so we have a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. And a ¼ cup sugar. So once you get that all together, you mix it up until it's a nice, smooth mixture. And now you're gonna set that and the streusel aside. Okay, for the cake batter, we have all-purpose flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, whole milk, sour cream, vanilla extract, salt, unsalted butter, and eggs. Okay, now we're going to combine the dry ingredients. So we have 3 cups of flour. I already measured it out so I don't have to now. We have 2 1/4 cups of sugar. We have 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, half teaspoon of salt, and half teaspoon of baking soda. And now we're going to mix that together with the stand mixer. Stand back. Gonna do that till it's combined pretty good. And then we'll, in a separate bowl, combine the wet ingredients. Now I have the dry ingredients mixed together. I'm going to add the butter. I'm just going to do 1 stick at a time. It's pretty soft, so it should be easy to mix in there. It's going to get really messy at this point. Kind of going everywhere. Then once that's mixed in pretty good, you're going to add in the other stick of butter. There we go, big mess. So you mix that together until it resembles sand. Okay, now we will be combining the wet ingredients. We're going to do a cup of sour cream, a 1/4 cup of whole milk, a tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 4 eggs. And we're going to whisk that together. Now that we have the wet mixture all together, we're going to be putting it into the dry ingredients. So I'm going to add a little in there so it doesn't go crazy. Okay, you kind of just slowly add it. It said a few lumps in here are totally fine. Just let that go, get all incorporated and everything. Then you're going to take this mixture and put it in your prepared 9x13 cake pan. Make sure it's either buttered or greased. I, again, use the butter pan spray. That always works really well. Okay, now you're going to put the half of the batter in the pan, and then you're gonna top it with the cinnamon sugar layer. Now that I have this all spread around, I'm going to put this layer on top. Hopefully it's evenly spread. So far so good. Then once you do this, you're going to put the other half of the batter on top, and then top that with the streusel topping. I got that pretty good. I'm gonna try to spread this around. Whoops. Yeah, more mess. But what's good baking without a big mess, right? Okay, let's do this. Get this all over. It'll be kind of hard to spread it, I think, because I don't want to mix the sugar cinnamon mix around. Let's see if I could do it. Okay, now I'm adding the crummy topping, streusel. Make sure it's evenly spread, as much as you can anyway. I'm gonna go back through and spread it with my spatula and try to get it super even. Oh, different spatula, that one's all wet. Now we're going to stick this into a preheated at 350 oven for 55 minutes, and then we're going to cool it on a rack for 1 hour. And I'm going to try it again. Pretty good. All right, so now you let it cool for 1 hour. It's pretty thick, so it'll probably take that whole hour to cool down. I just finished and let the coffee cake cool completely. It tastes pretty good. The topping is a little dry. If I made this recipe again, I would probably double the middle sugar and cinnamon layer, and maybe not half the crumble, but do a little bit less on the top. The cake is pretty thick itself, and it's pretty good. I'm not sure if it's an exact replica of the Starbucks coffee cake, but pretty good. All in all, I like it a lot. Thank you for tuning in. Come back tomorrow for day 2 of our 30-day baking challenge. Thanks for watching.